Good morning. It is March 8th, 2024, and my name is Jeff Bruner, and I'm excited to welcome you to another webinar with one of our longtime vendor partners, LexisNexis. I'm joined today by Lynn, Ron, and Egan from LexisNexis to talk to us about the new and upgraded Nexis Uni and what it can do for your institution. So with that said, I am going to end my screen share, and I think Ron is going to want to take over.
Yes, I will. Let me know if you can see my screen, please. That would be very helpful.
Not yet.
There we go.
Okay.
How about now?
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. Come on, go away. All right, Lynn, help me get to I can't see underneath the black thing. I want to start with this one. This control thing is blocking me.
Go to slideshow.
There we go. Now here we go from the beginning. There we are. Good. I apologize, folks. Sometimes my computer takes a mind of its own, especially on a Friday and a Monday. So it must be related to the one operating. But thank you so much for attending this morning. We certainly do appreciate it. My name is Ron Joss. I'm a manager in the academic team, and I also have responsibility for working with all of our consortium members in relationship to the selling and supporting of Nexis Uni. I have been at LexisNexis now starting on my 24th year. Worked on the legal side, then on the academic side now for about the last 7 years. It's certainly my pleasure to meet each of you and offer any assistance that might be necessary as we move ahead. I'm also joined by two colleagues. One is very new to me, but one I've worked with for many years, and she'll introduce more about herself as we progress through this review. And that is, of course, Lynn Smith. You may already know her by name. Many folks do. She's been around the academic market for many years. And then I have a new colleague whose name is Egan. He will be a trainer as well for the academic space, and he is here to observe Lynn and learn how she goes about doing her training for this type of product. So I only have a very few PowerPoint slides, and that's intentional. I don't want to have a death by PowerPoint presentation. I only want to provide some basic information to each of you about Nexis Uni and the upgrade that we have coming in this year. Again, the agenda is really very, very basic. Next, we're going to talk about the Nexis Uni upgrade, and that upgrade, of course, is scheduled to go to the academic members this summer. We don't have an exact date yet, but we are certainly pushing to learn that as quickly as we can. Then we will spend some time reviewing the new Nexis Uni, and we'll talk about, I guess, not only new Nexis Uni, but Nexis Uni, the current product, and talk about some things that are reminders to many of you, but it's a good chance to really talk about those type of things with an audience like yourselves. Then Lynn Smith will do the demonstration of Nexis, the new Nexis Uni, and we'll, of course, leave time for a general question and answer session. So the very first question that we want to address is, why are we doing an upgrade? We just had an upgrade recently with Nexis Uni. So why are we doing it again? The very simple answer is that we are changing the platform that Nexis Uni will be part of, and we're going to align it to our corporate platform, which is a huge benefit to the academic market. The benefits associated with that are that it will help from a transitionary perspective, in that you'll be having your Nexis Uni students working on Nexis Uni that is ultimately that a skill set will follow them into the workforce. And that's a good thing, because then it becomes a way for them to enhance their skills on their resume. It'll demonstrate specifically to potential employers, and also potential users that they do in fact know how to do academic research or research in general, and the learning curve might be lessened as a result of that experience set. So as you can see on the screen, the corporate products are well known in the business world. We have our research platform in 93% of the top legal firms 90% of the global investment banks, 80% of the top media organizations, and 80%, of course, in aerospace and then global pharmaceuticals. So the skills that you're able to impart on your students are going to help them as they transition in their careers to these type of business entities. And that is just to us, it's a seamless transition of skill sets. This is a reminder to folks about the power and strength of Nexis Uni. I frequently refer to Nexis Uni as a three-legged stool, and each of the legs of that stool, in this example of Nexis Uni, represent news, corporate and financial, and legal sources available in this database. It's a very powerful database because it provides over 15,000 news, legal, and business sources, all within its database. We don't simply scrape the web for this content. It's all credible content. It's all verified content. So you get all the latest information and latest additions that we were able to contract through additional opportunities that we come across. And one of those opportunities is this. You may already know this, but we did add the Springer Nature Journal academic journals from Springer Nature in 2023. We have over 350 Springer Nature journals, and you can see in this example that the general headings are life science, political science and international relations, medicine, public health, and business and management. And while this is a great addition to Nexis Uni, what I would pause and comment on is this is just one example of what LexisNexis does with Nexis Uni, and that we're always out looking for additional publishers to come into the product and enhance the relationship with our users. Nexis Uni never stays static as a database. There's always additions and some deletions that naturally occur with our contracting with the different publishers. But as you can see from this slide, this is we do bring in some very well-known publishers, and in this case, and in all cases that I'm aware of, the cost is not passed on to you or to the academic market. We just build that out as a normal enhancement to our product. So that's all I wanted to talk about in terms of old Nexis Uni, and I'll pass the baton to Lynn Smith, who's going to do a very good demonstration of new Nexis Uni.
Thank you, Ron, so very much. To Jenny, Jonathan, Julia, Tom, Catherine, and Rosemary, good morning. My name is Lynn Smith, and a couple of names I'm familiar with. I know we have at least corresponded over email. So it's so nice that you took time out of your busy morning, especially a Friday morning, to join this webinar. So Ron, Ron has stopped sharing, so I'm going to start sharing. So if somebody can just give me a thumbs up that you can see that. Perfect. I appreciate that. So as I was saying, Jenny, Jonathan, Julia, Tom, Catherine, and Rosemary, first, like I said, thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy Friday morning to join this webinar. Like I said, a few names look familiar. I know that we have communicated in the past, but just want you to be aware that my name is Lynn Smith, and I am one of your dedicated training consultants. And if you ever have any questions, concerns, need any assistance with Nexis Uni, please do not hesitate to contact me. That's my job. That's what we are here for. And as Ron said, over the summer, and we're pushing hard to get that date for you all, we will be upgrading Nexis Uni. And I'm going to be honest with you all. I am extremely, extremely excited about this upgrade. And trust me, I don't get excited easily. And the reason why I'm excited is because just so you know my background, I have a master's in information library studies from the University of Michigan. I also have a JD, a law degree from St. Louis University School of Law. So I like to joke that when it comes to my occupation, I have multiple personalities. I'm a librarian, I'm a law librarian, I'm an attorney. Please keep that a secret. But my primary job is to go out and do training and consulting work for LexisNexis. And I've been in the academic market since 2002. So a little over 20 years. So I've seen the evolution, the changes, the upgrades over the last 20 years to our academic product. And as Ron said, the reason why we're excited about this upgrade is that, as I've told people over those last 20 years, what's great about LexisNexis and having the academic product is your students are going to see a LexisNexis product when they graduate from your academic institution. Not to, not to go on and on, but as Ron indicated, we're in law firms. They're going to see us when they go work for the government, when they go work for a Fortune 500 company, banking, investment banking, pharmaceutical, media. So when you were training them on the LexisNexis academic product, you were giving them a good foundation on how to use a LexisNexis product. Because all of our products basically search the same way, operate the same way. The difference was the interface. So when they left your academic institution and they went to that corporate market, went to their employer, they had the foundation, but there was a little bit of a learning curve. But we've taken away that learning curve. And the reason I'm excited is I like to say, for the last 20 years, Ron and I can both attest, we've been pushing. Just give the academic market the same product that they would see when they go to the professional world. And we finally have done it. So it's like a dream come true for us. So this is the current Nexis Uni. And to get to the new Nexis Uni, to the left of the logo Nexis Uni, you're going to see these 9 dots. And these 9 dots are what we like to refer to as the product switcher tab. Now, I'm just going to joke that lately I've been given all kind of little emails, and in the chat, people have been posting what those 9 dots are called in the web design world. I've been told it's called everything from the candy box to the pinto beans to the 3 layers. So I like to joke that maybe before we do the official upgrade, I get LexisNexis to have a little contest to see what is the most popular name for those 9 dots. For us, it's the product switcher tab. But before I click on that product switcher tab, I want to reiterate something to many of you, because people don't already know this, or they don't always realize this. You actually already have access to 2 of our corporate products, Company Dossier and Patents. I'm going to just speak a little bit more about that when I go to the new interface. So I'm going to click on the product switcher tab. Let me reassure you, everyone, the product's name will remain Nexis Uni. As a former cataloging librarian and someone that has many friends that are cataloging librarians, many of them are not very fond of us because over those last 20 years, not only have we upgraded the product, made changes, we also changed the name. So for some of you, I'm going to take you down memory lane. Well, at one time we were Academic Universe, and then we became LexisNexis Academic Universe, and then we became LexisNexis Academic, and then eventually we became Nexis Uni. So Ron and I can attest, when we were talking about this upgrade, we made it be known that the product name should remain Nexis Uni, because once again, that requires additional work for you all. You have to go in and change LibGuides and things like that, and we don't want to create any additional work for you. So I'm just going to click on the Nexis, but once again, the name will remain Nexis Uni. Now, as Ron indicated, the upgrade is going to be seamless. On your end, it does not require any actions. The actions will actually be on our end. I'm being very simplistic in my analogy, but for us, it's just going to be like flipping a switch. Now, because it's like flipping a switch, I never enjoyed when we changed the product, but we only really gave you 1 day notice, meaning on July 1st, it was the current product, and then on July 2nd, we switched it to the new product. That gave you no time to properly prepare, to get familiar with the product, to promote the change. That's why we're giving you access to the product now, so you can properly prepare, so you can get familiar with the product, so you can promote it. but more importantly, so you can give us constructive criticism and feedback. So my job today is, number one, to inform you of some of the great new benefits and enhancements you're going to have with the new Nexis Uni, but also promote it to get you to start utilizing, get familiar with it. So the first thing I want to point out is this access provided by. I told you that over the last 20 years, we've changed the name, we've changed the product. Where at one time when we were still LexisNexis Academic, we had a version where we allowed customers, our academic customers, to co-brand the product, put their name on the product. And when we took that away, let's just say we got a lot of constructive criticism. We got a lot of great feedback to bring that feature back. So now, when you log on to the current Nexis Uni and you click on the product switcher and you come to the new Nexis Uni, you should see access provided by your academic institution's name. Now, of course, I've already gotten those questions from librarians. Lynn, that's nice that it has the academic institution's name, but we want it to have the library's name. Is that going to be feasible? Yes. Just bear with us. Initially, during the beta period, this is beta because it's not really an official product for you all, and the initial upgrade is going to be the academic institution's name, but we've already been told, reassured that we will give you the capability to change it from the academic institution's name to the library's name if that's what you want. Because we know that that's important because it lets your students know that this is being brought to them by the library, that this is a product that they know, has been vetted, is creditable, but also where their money is going. Because we know a lot of times students pay those student fees or a library fee, so they know this is where my money is going. Now, of course, I've had those librarians say, Lynn, what about a logo? At this time, bear with us, we're only allowing for text. So that's the name. That will be eventually the library's name. We are investigating, looking into a logo, but that's going to be somewhat down the road when we take a look at, what we like to call our roadmap, features and enhancements for the future. We are investigating that, but right now it's still just that, being investigated. So what are the new enhancements? Access provided by your academic institution's name, what we like to call co-branding the product or co-product branding. I told you, as you saw in the current product, you have access to 2 of our corporate products, but they're a little hidden because people always say, Lynn, I don't always click on that menu. And by clicking on that menu, yes, you're missing out on some things, but one may be thinking it's not necessary to click on that menu. So I just want you to be aware that we brought to the forefront of the product dossier, company dossier, and patents. These are 2 of our corporate products that you currently have access to. These are products that our corporate customers must pay for. Well, you all are getting this information, these products free of charge because you have access to Nexis Uni. So dossier, just as a friendly reminder what dossier is, it covers over 200 million companies, publicly traded, privately held, domestic, foreign, international, the whole gamut. Patents. This is total patent 1. Even our legal customers must pay for this product. It's not part of any traditional legal subscription. Once again, something that you get free of charge because your academic institution subscribes to Nexis Uni. Just so you know, you will have patents for 5 major authorities, and authorities in the patent world, countries, jurisdictions, US, Europe, Great Britain, Japan, and what's called the World Patent Office. So I just want to remind you that these are 2 products that, yes, there's a likelihood that your students will encounter when they graduate and they go to their professional careers. So we're basically allowing you to truly prepare your students for their professional careers by giving them access to the products that they will utilize in their professional careers, basically taking away the learning curve. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to type in my search, and please forgive me. The trainer in me always has to come out. So just as a friendly reminder, if you're search on a phrase, make sure you put that phrase in quotation marks. Another minor change that I want to point out, seems very minor, but very significant, the date. The date default for the product now will be all available dates. When we made that transition from LexisNexis Academic to Nexis Uni, we did something that, trust me, we've been hearing about quite often. And that was all of our previous versions of the academic product, the date default was automatically all available dates. But when we went to Nexis Uni, we changed it to the previous 2 years. And trust me, we heard your feedback. You all did not like it, and we understand. So just be aware that the date default for Nexis Uni will be all available dates, all content types. As Ron indicated, on this product, you're going to have access to over 16,000 sources, news, company, financial, legal, bibliographical information. Just like the current product, default all content types. But once again, if you wanted to, if Jenny wanted to search just news, she can select news. She can search all news, or she can specify. And one of the things I like to remind people that when we talk about news on LexisNexis, we're not just speaking about those traditional written sources, newspapers, magazines, journals. Please keep in mind, you're still going to have those, but you're also going to have news transcripts, word for word transcripts, who said what was said, industry trade press, news wires, press releases. So just want to give you that friendly reminder that all of the great content that you're used to utilizing will still be there. I'm going to go ahead and click on my search. Another friendly reminder, there are no document retrieval limitations for our products. Just like there are no document retrieval limitations for the current Nexis Uni, there are no document retrieval limitations for this product. Oops, that is because I've got a word spelled incorrectly, which shows you that not only am I a bad speller, but there are at least some other people that are bad spellers. So this is what happens. I always like to say when you're talking, let me start all over. When you're talking, typing, and, trying to multitask. Okay, got it right this time. But shows you there's some bad spellers out there also. Okay, everyone. So my apologies. Just one of the things I was saying is there are no document retrieval limitations. And just so you know, I actually did that on purpose. I usually like to do that, especially when I'm with students, to remind them, check your spelling. You misspell something, it's going to look for that misspelling, because we give these databases a lot of credit, but in reality, they're quite stupid. They're only going to do what we tell them to do, and that is looking for a word that's spelled incorrectly. So like I said, meant to do that. But as I was saying, there are no document retrieval limitations. So a lot of times when one sees this 10,000 plus, their mind is there is a limitation of 10,000 documents. No, everyone, there are no document retrieval limitations. I'm going to start the page down. And as I page down, please do me a big favor and look to the left side of the screen, because I just want to remind you that you're still going to have those wonderful post-search filtering options, because I did a very, very broad search. I said search all available dates, search all content types. So you still will have these wonderful post-search filtering options, which will allow you to filter down, narrow down your search results. But I like to joke that I'm from Missouri, born and raised, which is the wonderful show me state. So I believe in showing. So just as a friendly reminder, system retrieved over 100,000 newspapers, over 100,000 news wires and press releases, over 46,000 news transcripts. So there are no document retrieval limitation. This brings us to a great enhancement that you're only going to have on the new Nexis Uni. And that is, if I click on preview, you're going to see what we like to call a summarization, a summary. As one of our colleagues mentioned, Cliff Notes. Now, I don't know if students nowadays use Cliff Notes, but for those of us of a certain generation, we definitely know what Cliff Notes are. Because, like I said, it is very common, depending on what you're searching, to get hundreds of documents, thousands of documents. So this feature is to try to assist your students to quickly and efficiently determine, is this a document that I need to read the full text of the article? No. By this summary, no, it is not. I can just close this out and go to another one that I think is going to be more relevant, just kind of looking at the title. So, okay, now I've been doing this now, going on about 3 months, doing these presentations, making people aware about the upcoming, the upgrade, great features and functionalities. So I'm getting a lot of questions, and those questions that I get, I try to incorporate them into my presentation, because like I always say, one librarian has that question, trust me, at least 50 more have the same question. It may not have come to you yet, may not have occurred to you to ask yet. So first question, how are these summarizations being created? Computer generated. So they are computer generated. So that means, yes, AI is involved, just so we know. Right now, the content summarization. The content summarization, number one, is only currently available in news. In news that's in English. So what that means is that, of course, we have a lot of non-English language publications that are available. And just some of the languages off the top of my head are Dutch, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, Hungarian, Latin, Korean. So someone asked just not too long ago, Lynn, when you add the content summarization to your non-English language documents, are those summarizations going to be in English or the language of that article? They're going to be in the language of that article. So if that article is in French, the content summarization will be in French. However, I do want to give you a friendly reminder. You have the wonderful Google Translate, which will allow you to translate documents from one language to another. So a great new enhancement that you're only going to have available on the new Nexis Uni is you click on preview, that content summarization. Once again, we have, our product people have roadmaps. They have, where they see the product progressing, adding certain features, enhancements, things like that. So right now, starting with news content in English, then moving to non-English, and then adding that summarization to other content types. Another thing that we've done is we've expanded the analytics. So I'm quite sure somebody's like, Lynn, what do you mean analytics and expanded the analytics? Well, with the timeline, if you click on it, if you're not familiar with the timeline, you're going to see the timeline. And what's nice about the timeline is, number one, it's reflective of your search results. So this way, Julia can easily and quickly determine or know that the oldest document the system retrieved is from 1974. Most recent document is as of this year. It's also given her this graphic, this chart, analysis of her search term, because we know that there are faculty members that want to know, where was a particular topic, subject? There's a lot of coverage of it, really in the news. So this will allow one to determine, when there was a great deal of information, discussion, coverage of a particular topic, subject, search terms, but I can also do a date restriction. If I don't do it at the beginning, I can do it here. I can just drag these over or use the calendars. Now I'm going to say, okay. And what the system's going to do is going to analyze that time period. So this is giving us more of a breakdown. So we can see, once again, when there was, great deal of coverage, a lot of information. Well, people have said, Lynn, I like that graphic. I like that chart. there's just one issue. If somebody wanted to take that graphic, that chart, and input it into a PowerPoint presentation or report that they're working on, they can't. It's just, I mean, it's nice, but we want to be able to work with that information. Well, we've added that. I'm going to go up to the top and on the left side, I'm sorry, please forgive me, on the right side, you're going to see 3 icons. The first one, title view, just your title. The second one, I'm going to give a couple of us a blast from the past. If I said the word quick, which back in the good old days in LexisNexis was that keyword in context, basically it shows you your search terms surrounded by some of the context of your search terms in that document. That's what the full is now. And then we see analytics. I'm going to click on that. And we see coverage over time. We see the top publications, top companies mentioned, top people. This is related to our indexing terms, our smart indexing terms. Publication type, publication language. These analytics are reflective because I did a filtering based on time. I'm going to clear this. Now click on, here's my analytics. So just be aware that any filtering you do, if you click on that symbol, that icon for the analytics, it's going to be reflective of your search results. And if you did any filtering, reflective of any filtering that you did to your search results. Now, I told you, people said, Lynn, this graphic, this chart is nice, but we want to be able to capture it, to put it into some type of presentation or Word document. Click on the 3 dots, and this will allow you to do the CSV download or the PNG download. Last but not least, something that I do want to address, and that is, well, 2 last but not least, please forgive me. All of the great content, all of the great features and functionalities that you're used to utilizing will still be there, meaning if you have that citation to that Supreme Court decision, type it in, not necessary to use proper Blue Book citation. You still have legal content. If you know the name of that case, type it in. So all of those great features and functionalities you're used to utilizing still there, that preemptive word, that preemptive language, giving you that suggestions. So if I type in that Brown, here are some sources with Brown. Here are some legal documents, company. So those great features and functionalities that we're used to utilizing in the current Nexis Uni, they're still available in the new Nexis Uni. So don't think that they've gone away, but you're getting all those great features and functionalities and new features and functionalities. Now, one of the constructive criticism that we've gotten over the last couple of years with the current version of Nexis Uni related to the advanced search is, Lynn, either I have to search all content or a specific content type. What if I want to do legal in conjunction with news, or news in conjunction with company and financial? I have no way to combine. Okay, we heard you. With the new Nexis Uni, I do want to point out that the advanced search form is still going to be that same way. So if I went to legal, and one of the things that we brought back is practice areas. This is something when we took it away, for some reason, especially anybody that was dealing with education law, they really let their feelings be known, and we appreciate that. I just want you to be aware that, we did bring back the practice area. So if you want to search legal dealing with a particular topic or subject, you have that capability once again. But here, if I clicked on advanced search, once again, it's still a specific content type. Just like if I went to the home page, my default page, and I clicked on advanced search, once again, it's going to be all LexisNexis, all of the content, or a specific content type. So people, once again, that concept, I want to search two content types at the same time without having to go out and do two different searches. I want to introduce you to the power search. And the power search is kind of beneficial for a couple of different reasons. Number one, when we took a look at the analytics, we saw that we had word clouds for top people mentioned, top company mentioned. And that information is coming from our indexing terms, our smart indexing terms. And one of the things I've always told people over the last couple of years is yes, you can search, utilize the current version of Nexis Uni. You can search our smart indexing terms. There's just one issue. There's just one problem with the current version. If you're looking for a list of our smart indexing terms, they do not exist on the current platform. So it's kind of, yes, you can search by them, but if you don't know what they are, it's not a lot of help. You now have a listing. So I'm going to click on subject. I'm going to type in ESG. And for anybody that's on this call and you're unfamiliar with ESG and you're like, Lynn, what the heck is ESG? I was in that same situation about 5-6 years ago. If somebody had said ESG 5 or 6 years ago, I'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? Where ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. And this is critical information for your business faculty members, your business students, and just students in general. Because I've had students say, Lynn, I want to go work for a company that's concerned about the environment, that they're doing something for social justice. Now, Ron and I have both been trying to give you an indication that, as a company, we do have roadmaps, strategic plans, where we see our products, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, not just our product team, but even our content team. They're always trying to figure out what content do we need to be included in our products. Yes, they have their vision, they have their roadmap, they have their strategic plans. But guess what? The number one thing that we listen to, that we take into, of course, into consideration or prioritize is your feedback, your comments. Like I said, 5-6 years ago, if somebody said ESG, we didn't have ESG content. ESG wasn't an indexing term, a subject term, but because we started hearing from our business, our corporate customers, our academic business faculty members, ESG is important. We got that content. We made it an indexing term. So I just kind of want you to be aware your feedback is always very critical. I know sometimes I'll be the very first one to admit that it may take us a moment or two to implement that feedback, that constructive criticism, but we do hear you and we do appreciate it. So here, if somebody wanted to, they can do their, social, okay? So that is now, like I said, critical for us, an indexing term. But let's go back to, like I said, one of the constructive criticism, feedback, not being able to combine content types. In the power search, if I click on filters, now I can do legal in conjunction with company and financial. Or maybe I want company and financial, but news, but just transcripts. Because I know one of the great transcripts we have are from Fair Disclosure, which is a great transcript source for business meetings. It gives you those actual transcripts from corporate meetings. So I want you to be aware this is how you can combine content types. But just to kind of reiterate what I said before, like I said, I'm from Missouri, born and raised, believe in the show me state. If I type in my ESG, you're going to see a number of different ESG sources. And the one that I always like to point out that I do a lot with is CRS Hub, ESG ratings, because this is that critical information. How is that company doing in terms of environmental, social, and governance? So at this time, I'm going to kind of sort of stop talking because I know Ron has a few more things that he wants to touch upon, and then we'll take any questions or concerns. So I'm going to stop sharing on my end for a moment and turn it over to Ron very quickly.
There we go. You just have to click the appropriate button and life works better. So let me again say thank you to everyone who has participated in this webinar. We certainly do appreciate your time on a busy Friday. I hope that the information that we shared does give you some good indications of where we are driving new Nexis Uni and the wisdom behind the change. We didn't just make this decision in a vacuum in a back room and thinking that this would be appropriate. We involved a lot of different stakeholders in the academic space to make sure we brought a tool that was most powerful, not only to them in the library space, but also to the career pathing of students. Again, we can't say it enough. The Nexis Uni, the skills that your students will enjoy as they use the research tool will follow them into their career path. And that's a good thing from a future employer's perspective, is to have that skill set so that they get an employee that can hit the ground running right away. Nexis Uni is a course coming out. The new Nexis Uni is coming out sometime in the summer. We are certainly respectful of your availabilities in the summer months, so we are pushing hard to know exactly when that date will be so we can communicate that information to you. So please be patient with us, but we will follow up. I have, if there's anything that I can ever do, and Lynn as well, and Egan as well too, we are your resources. Please don't sit back and wonder. I would suggest to you to simply reach out to any one of us. And if we don't know the answers, we certainly, after all this time here at LexisNexis, know where to get that answer. So again, I thank you so much for your involvement today. Wish everyone a wonderful weekend.
Okay,
And
Ron,
turn
we
it
have a
back to Lynn.
question. Sorry, Ron, we have a
Yes.
question.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
Catherine, I think you and I have communicated before. Your name sounds very familiar. And so, videos. Yes, we will have videos, Catherine and everybody else. This is the issue right now. Product is still a beta for us. So, if you notice my ID, well, when I signed in, I've got something that, kind of looks a little crazy in terms of the wording that we have, because just like it's a beta for you, it's a beta for me too. So we're ready to go, everyone. We're ready to go. We're just kind of waiting for our product team to say, here's a product where it doesn't have this Nexis test, blah, blah, blah. So we can create the videos that you're used to us providing. So yes, we will be providing those traditional videos. For many of you, you may have gotten an email from me where we did a digital course. We produced 3 different digital certification courses. We will reproduce those with the new one. Right now, the only issue we're having, like I said, for us, just like for you, is still a beta. It's not a finished product on our end for academic, but as soon as we get the red light and we have access and ours doesn't read all this craziness, we will be producing those videos and we will make them available. Trust me, my digital team is ready. They're ready. They're ready. We're just still ready to get the green light. So hopefully, Catherine and everyone else, that answers that question. Now, something that I want to say that Ron alluded to, but I want to make sure we're all crystal clear. Because the upgrade will happen on our part, what that means is that permalinks, you don't have to upgrade permalinks. They're going to automatically upgrade. Proxy stanza, easy proxy stanza, those are also going to automatically upgrade. So I just wanted to make sure we alluded to that, but I don't think we were clear. So I want to make sure we're crystal clear on that. So let's just check quickly the chat. We have some
we have
feedback.
a few more questions. Very good
Jonathan,
questions.
you're going to get an email from me if I can, and I'm going to be working with Jeff to get your email addresses. So if you ever have any any feedback or questions, reach out to us. I think Ron, on his very last slide, may have my contact information, but you're going to get an email from me personally thanking you for joining. Tom, I know you and I have definitely communicated. He's asking about PDF formats. Keep in mind that, let me just run this search, everyone. And in terms of delivering your documents, I'm just going to click on the wonderful download. So in terms of your options, you do have a PDF as an option, Tom. Does that help you out, Tom? Okay, Jenny, excellent question. Jenny, if I understand your question correctly, you want to create a link to company dossier. Is that correct, Jenny? That's how I'm reading your question, Jenny. Okay. If I'm reading that question correctly, Jenny, okay. Yes and no. And what I mean by that yes and no, Jenny, is, let me just explain, Jenny, to you. I'm going to click on find a company. Here you see this word actions linked to this page. I can take that permo link, and yes, you can embed it in your list of databases. There's just one caveat, Jenny, and everybody else. If your students are trying to utilize that link remotely, remote access, going through some type of proxy server, it will not work off campus. It would only work on campus because from LexisNexis world, you really do not have an account with, remember I told you that dossier and patents are separate products. In our records, you don't really have an account with Nexis, with dossier. Dossier is embedded in Nexis Uni. That's how you're getting it. So if you took that permo link and you embedded it with your other databases, it's going to work on campus. But if you try to put proxy information to allow I know some schools, they require proxy information on campus. Once you start integrating proxy, it's not going to work because technically from our end, you don't really have an account with dossier. You have an account with Nexis that we have embedded dossier in front of it. I mean, within it. So I know that's kind of a circular answer, Jenny, but if you embed it, they're not going to have any issues on campus, but remote access with proxy, that's where they're going to incur an issue. Does that make sense, Jenny? Well, no, if you proxy it, it's not going to work at all. That's the problem. You can take this permo link and put your proxy information on it. And if you did that and you put on that website, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because even if you put the proxy, it has to do with our end, not your end, with the system not really, with the fact that from our end, you really do not have a subscription to this individual product. The product is embedded within Nexis Uni. Okay, so hopefully, so even if you put proxy information on here, it's not going to work because of the way it's set up on our end, not your end, Jenny. Hopefully I'm making sense. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Let's see. Yes, correct. Yes. Okay. Well, like I said, number one, want to thank you for your time. I'm going to turn it back over to Ron so he can close us out, but I just wanted to make sure I saw those questions pop up and I wanted to make sure we addressed those questions. So Ron, didn't mean to interrupt, turning it back over to you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to again say thank you to everyone for your attendance and your really good questions. I would like to reiterate a point that as we leave here soon, that Lynn made in her presentation about feedback. I tell this to customers all the time. LexisNexis will listen to your opinions and direction far more and to a greater degree than anything that Lynn and I will ever suggest to them. So you are the drivers of Nexis Uni and what you want. Please give us the feedback. Please help us guide the research tool so that it meets the needs of the various stakeholders in the academic space. Because frankly, we need to build something that meets your needs and meets the expectations of the users. And we want to have you along as a very important element in that discussion. So I have nothing else. Again, thank you so much for your time today. We wish you all a very pleasant weekend. And again, we are resources to you. Please reach out and let us know how we can help. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for your time. Truly appreciate it. Once again, ever have any questions and or concerns, do not hesitate to contact us. And more importantly, like I said, with the help of Jeff, I will be sending out a nice little email thanking you for your time, but more importantly, making sure you have my contact information. Like I said, a few people on this list, I've interacted with them. I know just by recognition of their names, but a couple of you I'm not familiar with, but we may have communicated before in the past. So yes.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon and a marvelous weekend. Talk to you again soon.